You are on your own. You are all on your own from here on out. It's Wednesday, January 20th, 2021. Yes, that is correct. You are all on your own. I'm on my own. What do I mean by that? The government isn't coming to save you. Your politician isn't coming to save you. The central bank isn't coming to save you. No one is coming to save you. You are all on your own at this point. We are just watching some very spectacular things take place. And I'm no doubt, I've been very worried where all this is going, but we are going to see things expedited at this point. These printing presses are going to go absolutely ballistic. The money printing, the debt creation, you name it. And the only thing you can do at this point is worry about yourself and prepare, because there is no help coming. We are going to see financial destruction take place here in America unlike we have ever done. And it is going to be on steroids. Dow Jones today up 257 points. Here we are watching the markets again at all-time highs. Gold was up $30, silver up 60 cents. And as I make this video today, I can't stress enough the importance that you own two of the most undervalued assets on planet Earth. One of them, no doubt, right here, silver. The other one, gold. These are so important to own right now. They're on sale. They're real. You can hold them. You can put them anywhere you want. You can sell them. Nobody knows how many you have, where they're at. Just an incredible asset to own. I have, in the last week, so many people contacting me, asking me advice where to buy. I have a link down below in the description box, SD Bullion. That's where I've been buying gold and silver for the past 2 years because of your recommendations. Most of you over the years recommended SD Bullion, and I've been doing business with them ever since. I don't care where you get it from. I'm going to repeat this for the 100th time because the trolls out there they believe I own a gold mine, or they believe I own SD Bullion. I don't. I am a client, a customer of SD Bullion. I take my hard-earned cash and I buy physical gold and silver from SD Bullion. You can buy from whoever you want to buy it from, but with what we just witnessed today, what we're about to witness, if you thought it was bad last year, wait till you see the breakdown of this economy in 2021. And I believe that one of the best things you can do to protect yourself, protect your wealth, is to own gold and silver. Again, SD Bullion, link down below. I don't care where you buy from. To the trolls out there, anybody that bought gold or silver last year, the year before, from SD Bullion or anybody, did incredibly well. So, why do you care where people are buying gold and silver from? I don't get these people. Why do you care? They're making money. They're protecting their wealth. What was gold up in 2020? 25%. Silver was up 47%. So it doesn't really matter where you buy from. What matters is you have it. Stop listening to the trolls. They are broke. They have no wealth to protect at this point. They're dependent on the government. They have no emergency reserves. So they're consumed with making sure you fail like they do. Again, it doesn't matter where you get it. Just get it from somewhere reputable, but make sure you have it, because we're going to come to a point where nothing's going to matter other than what you are holding in your hands, not on a computer screen, not on a piece of paper. What is going to matter is what you are holding physically in your hands, what you can physically get to. And something that works, whether the power's on or whether the power's off, it still works. And that's why I'm such a proponent of owning gold and silver. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm not telling anybody to go out there and buy it. I'm not telling you to sell your cryptos. I'm not telling you to get out of the stock market. I'm telling you to open up your eyes and ears and really think critically about where all this is going. And Do you really believe you're going to protect yourself with a fiat currency that's lost 97% of its purchasing power? Do you think you're going to protect yourself with a piece of paper? Do you think you're going to protect yourself with a digital currency that is backed by nothing, that needs gold and silver in order to create it? There is no cryptocurrency without the gold, without the silver. It takes gold and silver in those computers in order to make the cryptos. They don't exist without the two assets that have been here for over 5,000 years. So critically think what you would actually really need in a time of emergency. Of course, you better have food and water and all those necessities, but we're going to talk financially about what you need and what you need to protect yourself. And the two most undervalued, important assets on planet Earth are God's money, gold and silver. So make sure you are looking at protecting yourself with those assets. You know, a lot of people out there I'm witnessing continue to put their heads in the sand. They continue to be in denial. They continue to be in disbelief with what is going on. We have people out there that cannot believe that over 70 million people in 2020 filed for unemployment benefits. They cannot believe right now that there are roughly 40 million people jobless in America. They can't believe that this country is approaching $28 trillion in debt. They have no understanding. Many of them cannot even believe they even lost their own job. They can't believe. They just cannot believe. This is the power of denial. They just believe that things will eventually go back to some sort of normal. How can there be any normal, any type of normal, when we have a debt right here in America approaching $30 trillion, when we have the Fed's balance sheet that is going to surpass $10 trillion this year? We have a government that cannot control its spending. We have more money going out than coming in. We have a homeless epidemic now in America. We have a food epidemic now in America. People cannot believe this. They just sit there in disbelief and ignore what is happening right in front of them. They ignore all the vacant buildings. They ignore all the closures of their local restaurants and local retailers. They ignore it. They ignore the ghost town mall in their area. They just cannot believe what is happening right in front of their eyes. And unfortunately, they're going to be the losers in this wealth transfer, in this reset, call it whatever you want. They're going to be the victims. A rational person, a person that can independently think for themselves, can rationalize, can look at the truth, understand it, accept it, whether it's good or bad. A rational person viewing what they're viewing right now today understands that he or she must prepare. He or she understands that what we are seeing is very, very dangerous, has huge economic repercussions. And a rational person understands that he or she must prepare and protect themselves against these dangers, against this massive debt, against a collapse. I mean, really look at what is going on. And, you know, if you're listening to this new administration, they're going to print a lot of money. It's going to be great for the stock market for a while. It's going to be, I think, very, very good for gold and silver. But that sugar rush, that medicine is going to wear off. And if the stock market cannot get another injection, it's going to be in trouble. And what we know is the injections have to get bigger and bigger in order to get a lesser result. We've been injecting these markets. I mean, we can go back to the crash of 2008. Look at the trillions of dollars that we've injected into these markets. Yet we have 40 million people out of a job. We have an economy in shambles. We have more vacant commercial real estate than I've ever seen in my life. We have more debt. Federal balance sheet is skyrocketing. More local municipality debt is skyrocketing. We have unfunded pensions. We have a global debt of $277 trillion and skyrocketing. This is going to be, I mean, unbelievable, historic, biblical, call it whatever you want, but a rational person is preparing and sees what is going on. A person in disbelief, a person in denial, they are going to pay an enormous price here for not preparing and looking and accepting the truth. You know, all of you must be doing your own due diligence. Do your homework. I cannot stress it enough. Read the data. And when you do, it's another reason why you better be buying gold and silver. Another reason why you better be looking at the truth, understanding the truth, and accepting it, where this is going to go. It's going to go into the worst economic collapse the world has seen. It's going to be the worst depression the world has seen. And depressions don't get resolved in a few months or even a few years. My question is, as we get deeper into this depression, and I think most of you would agree, we're in a depression at this point, and it's just begun. And it is going to accelerate, I believe, now much, much quicker. As we head into 2021 here. This could last a very, very long time. And the question is, what is going to get us out of this depression as we no longer really manufacture anything here in America, as we're more reliant on importing food from other countries, we're importing goods and services from other countries. How does America expect to get out of a depression when it doesn't make anything and people are sitting at home waiting for a check without a job? This is going to be much, much different than 1929. The gold bull market is just getting started. Another article on the hedge. The Great Reset is being promoted daily now, and it is not going to benefit most people. In fact, most people, as I've said earlier, are going to be a victim of this wealth transfer, a victim of the Great Reset. I think we're seeing stagflation right now. I think that, you know, if you look at shadow stats, it said that inflation last year for 2020 was 8.9%. So we're looking at inflation at over 8% a year, and we're looking at 40 million people without a job. I would say that that's a very stagnant economy, a collapsing economy, and I would say that that's very serious inflation. And that inflation can blow past 10% very, very quickly. And in some states, in some areas where you live, it might be over 10% right now. When you read data like this, in articles on the hedge, or you go to shadow stats and look at the real inflation numbers, you must have gold and silver to protect yourself in these type of environments. Nothing else is going to do it. And you know, to the people out there that say you can't buy food and water with gold and silver, that's wrong. Yes, you can. We've seen it time and time again throughout history. People sell their gold, they sell their silver in order to buy food, to buy water, to buy protection. And I say, like, I don't want to be dependent on somebody else for my food and water. That's why I put my own food and water supplies away. I don't want to use my precious metals to buy food and water, but if I had to, there's a seller out there. I guarantee it. If somebody came to me and had gold or silver, I would be able to sell them some food and water. But don't be one of those people that figures, well, I'll just sell some of my precious metals to buy food and water if things get that bad. You should have food and water right now stocked up. I think now that we're in the situation we're in, 3 to 6 months minimal is where you should be with food and water supplies. Before, you know, I was like, 3 months is good. Now I think you need to be at 6 months plus. Things are getting much more critical. But again, this environment is an environment where I believe you must own gold and silver. These are things that you must hold, tangible assets that you can hold in your hands, that you can get to. Again, don't rely on something being on your computer. Don't rely on a piece of paper or a stock or even a fiat currency to save you if this environment gets very, very bad. We may see huge volatility coming, and that also means volatility in cryptos. The thing I like about gold and silver, and this isn't a knock on cryptos, a lot of people get very, very triggered when I talk about cryptos, but they're volatile. very volatile. We saw Bitcoin go down 85% at one point. We just saw it go down 25% over a weekend not that long ago. Huge volatility. Gold and silver does not have the volatility of cryptos. And I can use gold and silver if the power goes out. If I don't have a computer, I can still use it. I can still barter with it. So those are some of the benefits that gold and silver have that cryptos don't offer. If things get really, really bad, cryptos are not going to be your friend. Gold and silver will. So we are now in a time of record bubbles. We have a bond bubble. We have a stock market bubble. We have a real estate bubble. We have a Bitcoin bubble. The bubbles are everywhere. And I believe when one of these bubbles pops, the others will pop along with that bubble. And we have never lived in a time with so many bubbles and so many bubbles popping, and this is global. There's bubbles everywhere. And we're watching country after country after country print their currencies to oblivion. It's a race to the bottom. And, you know, I can't even really break it down into words because we've never been in a time like this. We've never seen a global depression, and nobody's ever seen a global crash. And this is where we're all heading. Massive bubbles and massive money printing is going to equal just destruction of the economic systems, the financial systems, the banking system, the currency system. I mean, it's all going to explode. And it is going to be really a scary time. Tomorrow, we will get the jobless claims for last week. I predict that they will be well over 800,000. And I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, if that isn't enough to really tell you and show you what's going on, a rational person is watching these job numbers and understands that there is something very, very wrong, and that this housing bubble, for one, cannot continue when we're losing over 800,000 jobs a week for 11 months. Something is very, very wrong. CNBC today, spike in lumber and land prices causes home builder confidence to fall from epic high. Well, you'd think the confidence would start falling a little bit when you're losing over 800,000 jobs a week for 11 months. The new president looks to give big boost to home buyers and builders. So they want to keep this bubble propped up. They want to keep this bubble expanding. The president is proposing a $15,000 first-time home buyer credit, which would be accessed immediately, and they would be able to use this as their down payment or part of their down payment. So it just blows my mind that they're continuing to prop up the housing market, yet we're losing over 800,000 jobs a week. He's also pushing big banks to get back into FHA lending. The FHA delinquency rate, last I checked, was around 17%. Correct me if I'm wrong. With 10.76% of those loans seriously delinquent. That's 90 days plus. So 10.76%, almost 11% of FHA loans right now are currently delinquent, 90 days plus. And the new president is pushing big banks to get back into FHA lending. And I'm going to close with this. Governor Cuomo proposal would raise tax for wealthiest New Yorkers to 14.7%, highest combined rate in nation. This is also on CNBC. And I bring this up because as cities and states go broke, guess what they're going to do? Guess who they're going to get to pay for this mess? Guess who's going to have to make up the taxes because your malls have shut down, the restaurants have shut down, the retailers have shut down. Guess who they expect to make up that lost tax revenue? Yes, you've guessed it. They expect you and they expect me to make up these losses. I mean, if you're not preparing, ladies and gentlemen, you are either on life support, you need serious counseling, or you are just completely blind to reality. I really feel bad for the tens of millions of people who are going to be absolutely annihilated by this depression. The people who did not prepare, the people who didn't have a plan, the people who were in denial. Many of these people now, right now, have lost everything. They've lost their jobs. They're 10 months behind on their rent. They have absolutely no savings. Many of these people, it was too important to go out every weekend, to dinner, to the bars. It was too important to drive that fancy car with that emblem to impress people they don't know. They didn't want to make the sacrifices. All they wanted to do was go on Facebook and show you and I where they're staying for the weekend, their Hawaiian vacation, their Las Vegas vacation, their steak at Morton's, their new watch, their new leased car. Now these people have lost jobs. Now they're losing their cars to the repo man. They're 10 months behind on rent. Their mortgage is in forbearance. They have no way to make that mortgage whole. These people, they're done. And I don't want you to be one of those people. It's not too late. Right now, get yourself prepared financially, physically, spiritually. Get ready. It's 2021. If you thought 2020 was a rough year, wait till you see what is about to happen.